this is Jose Figueroa with an approved workman, where we are rightly dividing the word of truth. Welcome to another week of Bible study. I am glad that you're here as we open up God's Word one more time. Our current series is Rebuilding the Covenant Community, a study of the book of Nehemiah. If you're new to this Bible teaching ministry, here's how you can learn more about our work. You can go to our website, www.anapprovedworkman.org. That's anapprovedworkman altogether.org. You can learn about the purpose for this ministry, our approach to Bible study, and review our statement of faith. You can listen to previous episodes of our current series or any episodes from previous series. On the website, you can also subscribe to the podcast, which is available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or Amazon Music, as well as other podcast directories. You can connect with us on social media, on Instagram at anapprovedworkman, on Pinterest, pinterest.com/anapprovedworkman, and on Facebook, our Facebook page, facebook.com/anapprovedworkman215. Finally, there are also video versions of our Bible study lessons. They're available on YouTube at youtube.com/@anapprovedworkman215. That's our handle. And on Rumble, rumble.com/c/anapprovedworkman. You can subscribe to those video channels and make sure you don't miss any upcoming episodes. Today we're at lesson number 3 in our series, Rebuilding the Covenant Community, a study from the book of Nehemiah. This is volume 2 of our series, After the Exile, a study of Ezra, Nehemiah, and Esther. Our lesson for today is titled Work, Watch, Pray, Part 1. Our focus passage is Nehemiah chapter 3, so please find your way in your Bible to that passage. As we move forward, the wall rebuilding project begins and faces mockery and threats. The date was January 28, 1985. A group of top music artists came together for a great cause and under a great leader. There was a severe famine in Africa. Artists in the United States were compelled to pull together their talents to make a recording of a song that could be used to raise awareness and money for relief. The song, We Are the World. The challenge was monumental. The recording involved more than 40 artists. Given their very busy schedules, it had to be done in one night. Think about that logistical challenge. Aside from the logistical challenges, they had another problem. How do you manage the individual egos of more than 40 people that are at the top of their industry? How do you get them to work together? Fortunately, the project had a strong leader, Quincy Jones. He was a legendary music producer and had the respect of everyone. Before the artists arrived at the studio, he had taped this message to the door. It says, "Check your ego at the door." Of course, history records the success of the project. They came together for a great purpose and under a great leader. The returning Jewish exiles are about to begin a project with a great purpose. They too have a great leader. Will they come together and succeed? In our previous episode, we concluded our teaching from Nehemiah 1 and 2, a study we called Divinely Compelled to Act. In these first 2 chapters, we saw Nehemiah requesting permission from Artaxerxes King of Persia to return and rebuild the city of Jerusalem. Divinely compelled by the situation of the exiles in Jerusalem, Nehemiah went into prayer and fasting, seeking Yahweh's guidance and favor as to how he would be involved in helping them. He wanted for the exiles to prosper and for Jerusalem to shine again. His good situation did not keep him from having care and compassion for others. After 4 months of prayer and fasting, Nehemiah received the authorization and support from the king he needed. After returning to Jerusalem, he inspected the situation and moved the people of Judah to begin the task of rebuilding the walls of Jerusalem. We should always remember that when God puts a desire in our hearts to act for his kingdom, he will provide exactly what we need to accomplish the task. So with that in mind, let's review the principles and applications from our study of Nehemiah chapters 1 and 2. We first looked at Nehemiah's prayer, chapter 1, verses 1 through 11. The principle: God sovereignly uses his righteous people, those committed to him and his ways. God sovereignly uses his righteous people, those committed to him and his ways. As a way of application, we ask, when I look at my world, what is it that moves me with enough compassion to prayer and fasting? How am I responding to God's divine promptings in my life? And where has God placed me to participate in carrying out his kingdom agenda? The second division we look at was Nehemiah's proposition, chapter 2, verses 1 through 10. The principle: God honors the prayers and faithfulness of his covenant people. God honors the prayers and faithfulness of his covenant people. How am I preparing myself to carry out what God wants me to do for his kingdom? How am I seeking divine guidance to carry out this task? And what is my level of commitment to complete my assignment? Our third and final division was Nehemiah's preparation, chapter 2, verses 11 through 20. Our principle: God's covenant people act firmly with his strength and authority. God's covenant people act firmly with his strength and authority. How am I involving others in the kingdom work God has asked me to lead? How prepared am I to stand firmly against those who opposed God? How am I strengthening myself in the Lord? Here are 3 reminders as we look beyond ourselves and our present situation and open our eyes to what God might want to do through us. We must show genuine concern for others, ask good questions, listen well. After listening well, we need to let godly compassion move us to intercessory prayer. Find a way, connect with God in praying for those people. And then finally, let your prayers move you to divinely inspired action. If you missed our previous episode, I encourage you to either listen to the podcast or watch the video version of that lesson on YouTube or Rumble. In today's lesson, we begin our look at Nehemiah chapters 3 and 4 as the project to rebuild the walls gets underway. In chapter 3, we see the Jewish exiles set to do the work of repairing the walls and the gates around the city. It is a very detailed account of who was involved and what was accomplished. As the work progresses, the enemies of God's people will attempt to derail the work. We will see their opposition tactics begin to unfold in chapter 4. In his commentary on Ezra-Nehemiah, Dr. Derek Kittner speaks regarding the unity in the community as they launch into this effort. He says, quote, "This catalog of largely forgotten names and places reveals an extraordinary feat of organization and concerted action. It has all the marks of a shared enthusiasm shown in the heterogeneous groups which set to work on their adjacent stretches of wall, some as family units, others by towns, crafts like the goldsmiths and the perfumers, trades, the merchants, and callings, the priests, Levites, temple servants, and district officers." End quote. In his commentary on Ezra, Nehemiah, and Esther, Dr. Mervyn Brenneman speaks on Nehemiah's leadership and administrative abilities as we begin this study. He says, quote, "This chapter shows Nehemiah was an outstanding organizer. Some 45 sections of construction are mentioned, including 10 gates. Planning all this building activity, organizing the groups, plus arranging the infrastructure to supply materials was no small accomplishment. Tollefson notes that, quote, Nehemiah skillfully divided the workforce into some 40 manageable work crews, organized by common interest and geography. The way Nehemiah confronted opposition both from without and from within, and the way he organized the community were significant ingredients in the realization of his vision. End quote. Here's our lesson outline and goal for our teaching from Nehemiah chapters 3 and 4. We're calling this study Work, Watch, and Pray. We have three divisions. First, the work begins chapter 3 verses 1 through 32. Then the work is mocked, chapter 4 verses 1 through 8. And then finally, the work is threatened, chapter 4 verses 9 to 23. And our goal for the teaching from these two chapters is this: to encourage believers to remember that when we put our trust in God, we can accomplish His work despite opposition from the enemy. Again, the goal for this teaching from Nehemiah chapters 3 and 4 is to encourage believers to remember that when we put our trust in God, we can accomplish His work despite opposition from the enemy. Today, we will focus on our first division, chapter 3 verses 1 through 32. The work begins, and then next time we will look at the two remaining divisions from chapter 4. Let's get started with that division from chapter 3 of Nehemiah. The work begins. Then Eliashib, the high priest, arose with his brothers the priests and built the sheep gate. They consecrated it and installed its doors. They consecrated the wall to the Tower of the Hundred and the Tower of Hananel. And next to him, the men of Jericho built. And next to them, Sakur, the son of Imri, built. Now, the sons of Hazenah built the fish gate. They laid its beams and installed its doors with its bolts and bars. Next to them, Meremoth, the son of Uriah, the son of Hakaz, made repairs. And next to him, Meshullam, the son of Berechiah, the son of Meshezabel, made repairs. And next to him, Zadok, the son of Bana, also made repairs. Moreover, next to him, the Teochites made repairs, but their nobles did not support the work of their masters. Now Joiah the son of Paseah and Meshullam the son of Besodeiah repaired the ancient gate. They laid its beams and installed its doors with its bolts and its bars. Next to them, Melatiah the Gibeonite and Jadon the Meronothite, the men of Gibeon and of Mizpah, also made repairs for the official seat of the governor of the province beyond the Euphrates River. Next to him, Uzziel, the son of Harhiah of the goldsmiths, made repairs. And next to him, Hananiah, one of the perfumers, made repairs, and they restored Jerusalem as far as the broad wall. And next to them, Rephaiah, the son of the official of half the district of Jerusalem, made repairs. Next to them, Jedaiah, the son of Harumaph, made repairs opposite his house. And next to him, Hattush, the son of Hashabiah, made repairs. Malchiah, the son of Harim, and Hashub, the son of Pahath Moab, repaired another section and the Tower of Furnaces. Next to him, Shalom, the son of Halohesh, the official of half the district of Jerusalem, made repairs, he and his daughters. Hanun and the inhabitants of Sanoah repaired the valley gate. They built it and installed its doors with its bolts and its bars, and 1,000 cubits of the wall to the dung gate. And Malchiah, the son of Rechab, the official of the district of Beth Hakerem, repaired the dung gate. He built it and installed its doors and its bars. Verse 15. Shalom, the son of Kolhose, the official of the district of Mizpah, repaired the fountain gate. He built it, made a roof for it, and installed its doors with its bolts and its bars, and the wall of the pool of Shelah at the king's garden, as far as the steps that descend from the city of David. After him, Nehemiah the son of Azbuk, official of the half the district of Beth Sur, made repairs as far as a point opposite the tombs of David, and as far as the artificial pool and the house of the mighty men. After him, the Levites carried out repairs under Rehum the son of Bani. Next to him, Hashabiah, the official of half the district of Keilah, carried out repairs for his district. After him, their brothers carried out repairs under Vabai, the son of Henadad, official of the other half of the district of Keilah. And next to him, Ezer, the son of Jeshua, the official of Mizpah, repaired another section in front of the ascent of the armory at the angle. After him, Baruch, the son of Sabai, zealously repaired another section, from the angle to the doorway of the house of Eliashib the high priest. After him, Meremoth, the son of Uriah, the son of Hakos, repaired another section, from the doorway of Eliashib's house even as far as the end of his house. And after him, the priests, the men of the vicinity, carried out repairs. After them, Benjamin and Hashub carried out repairs in front of their house. After them, Azariah, the son of Maaseiah, son of Ananiah, carried out repairs besides his house. After him, Binui, the son of Henadad, repaired another section from the house of Azariah as far as the angle and as far as the corner. Palal, the son of Uzai, made repairs in front of the angle and the tower projecting from the upper house of the king, which is by the courtyard of the guard. After him, Pedaiah, the son of Parosh, made repairs. Now, the temple servants living in Ophel made repairs as far as the front of the water gate toward the east and the projecting tower. After them, the Tekoites repaired another section in front of the great projecting tower and as far as the wall of Ophel. Above the horse gate, the priests carried out repairs, each in front of his house. After them, Zadok, the son of Immer, carried out repairs in front of his house. And after him, Shemaiah, the son of Shechaniah, the keeper of the east gate, carried out repairs. After him, Hananiah, the son of Shelemiah, and Hanun, the sixth son of Saleph, repaired another section. After him, Meshullam, the son of Berechiah, carried out repairs in front of his own quarters. After him, Malchijah, one of the goldsmiths, carried out repairs as far as the house of the temple servants and of the merchants in front of the inspection gate, and as far as the upper room of the corner. And between the upper room of the corner and the sheep gate, the goldsmiths and the merchants carried out repairs. Nehemiah chapter 3, verses 1 through 32. So that was a bit of a test of reading all those names in that chapter, but it was interesting to kind of study the verses and see how the work is organized. So let's get started diving a little deeper into this. I organized this lesson by the gate. So let's look at the work that was done around the sheep gate, verses 1 and 2. We see that the work was started with Eliashib, the high priest, and other priests. They built the sheep gate. They consecrated it and they installed its doors. They also consecrated the wall to the Tower of the Hundred and the Tower of Hananel. They were joined by the men of Jericho and by Sakur, the son of Imri. In his Bible commentary, Dr. John MacArthur gives us a couple of details as the account of the rebuilding begins. He says, quote, speaking of Eliashib, he says, the grandson of Jeshua, the high priest in Zerubbabel's era, and the work started on the 4th of Ab, was July-August 445 BC. The narrative moves around the perimeter of Jerusalem in a counterclockwise direction. This northern section of Jerusalem opened up to the central Benjamin Plateau, where enemy forces could attack most easily from the north. The rest of the perimeter of the city was protected by the natural valley topography. End quote. It is significant that the account begins with the work of the high priest Eliashib. Dr. Brenneman tells us about the meaning of this, which goes beyond the mere repairing of a wall. He says, quote, "There were two towers on the north wall, since this was the only side not naturally defended by a steep hill. The Tower of Hananel probably was the same as the citadel by the temple," in chapter 2, verse 8. Eskenazi observes that this tower is mentioned in only two places outside Nehemiah, Jeremiah 31:38 and Zechariah 14:10. The context of both these texts is the eschatological restoration of Jerusalem. Its mention in the ceremony of dedication in 1239, combined with the consecration in Nehemiah 3:1, gathers around its associations and expectations that extend beyond mere architectural information. Such clustering of association casts the sanctification and the repair or restoration of the Tower of Hananel as the enactment of a larger theological salvific vision. End quote. Again, this is more than just rebuilding those broken down walls and gates. This is pointing to the eternal hope of restoration God's covenant people had. Great detail as the work gets started and consecrated by the high priest. Let's move ahead to the work around the fish gate, verses 3 to 5. We see the sons of Hasenab build that gate with the beams, the doors, the bolts, and the bars. They were joined by Meremoth, the son of Uriah, the son of Hakaz. And joining them were Meshullam, the son of Berechiah, the son of Meshezabel. And also with them were Zadok, the son of Bana, and then the Tekoites. The nobles, however, did not support the work. They were not involved in the effort. Dr. Keitner speaks about how these men stood out in contrast to the rest of the very united community. Quote, "This is a vivid touch, a glimpse of petty pride rather than half-heartedness. The unbending neck is a standard picture of this unbeatable attitude. And probably their lord here means their supervisors. However, if the nobles cut a sorry figure, what would Amos, their townsman, have said? The rest of their community had nothing to be ashamed of. They were responsible for two sections of the wall." End quote. You know, in every project, in every work of God's kingdom, there is always some people that no matter what, they will find a way to be disruptive and non-cooperative. So what you have to do is move forward with the people who are willing to do the work. Let's move ahead to the work done around the ancient gate, verses 6 through 12. In verses 6 through 8, we see Joaiah, the son of Paseah, and Meshullam, the son of Besodeiah, repairing the ancient gate. They were joined by Melathiah the Gibeonite, Jadon the Meronothite, the men of Gibeon and Mizpah, who made repairs for the official seat of the governor of the province beyond the Euphrates River. We also had Uzziel, the son of Harhiah. He was one of the goldsmiths, and Hananiah, one of the perfumers, making repairs. And they restored Jerusalem as far as the broad wall. Verses 9 through 12. With this group of people was also Rephaiah, the son of Hur, and who was also the official of half the district of Jerusalem. Next to them, Jedaiah, the son of Harumaph, making repairs opposite his house. Next to him, Hattush, the son of Habaneah, and Malchiah, the son of Harim, and Hashub, the son of Pahath Moab, repairing another section and the Tower of Furnaces. Next to him, Shallum, the son of Halohesh, the official of half the district of Jerusalem, making repairs with his daughters. So you see kind of an interesting mix of people here. You have officials, you have people from different towns, different professions. Everybody's joining in the effort. This is a united community effort to rebuild these walls, to rebuild these gates, to bring a restoration to the city of Jerusalem. Great reflection here, and the incredible group of people that were involved in the work. Let's now look at the work done around the Valley Gate and the Dung Gate, verses 13 and 14. We're told that Hanun and the people of Sanoah repaired the valley gate, and 1,000 cubits of the wall to the dawn gate. Malchiah, the son of Rechab, the official of the district of Beth Haccherem, repaired the dawn gate with the doors, the bolts, and the bars. Then, moving ahead to verses 15 to 27, we see the work done around the fountain gate and the water gate. In verses 15 and 16, we see Shallum, the son of Kolhose, the official of the district of Mizpah, repairing the fountain gate. He also built the wall of the pool of Shelah at the king's garden as far as the steps that descend from the city of David. Next to him, Nehemiah, the son of Azbuk, official of half the district of Beth Shur, made repairs to a location opposite the tombs of David and as far as the artificial pool and the house of the mighty men. This is a good spot to mention something Dr. Tony Evans says about all the men involved in this work. The mention here of the house of the mighty men or the house of heroes reminds me of this. This is what Dr. Evans says, quote, "If you're going to rebuild families and communities, you're going to need men to stop wimping out and making excuses. There is a place for sports and entertainment, but all of that is secondary to what men were created to do. Manhood requires taking responsibility for the challenges you face. Whenever you are being irresponsible, you are not being a kingdom man." End quote. Let's look now at the work done around the horse gate, the east gate, and the inspection gate, verses 28 through 32. Verses 17 and 18, we see that Rehum, the son of Bani, and the Levites carried out repairs. Next to them, Hashabiah, the official of half the district of Keilah. Next to them, the other men under the leadership of Bavai, son of Henadad, official of the other half of the district of Keilah. Verses 19 to 20, Ezra, the son of Jeshua, official of Mizpah, repaired another section in front of the ascent of the armory at the angle. Next to him, Baruch, son of Sabai, zealously repaired another section from the angle to the doorway of the house of Eliashib, the high priest. Verses 21 and 22, we see Meremoth, son of Uriah, son of Hakaz, repairing a section from the doorway of Eliashib's house even to the end of his own house. Next to him, the priests, the men of the vicinity, carried out repairs. Verses 23 and 24, after them, Benjamin and Hashub carried out repairs in front of their house. Next, Azariah, son of Maaseiah, son of Ananiah, made repairs beside his house. Then Binui, son of Henadad, repaired a section from the house of Azariah as far as the angle and as far as the corner. Verses 25 to 27, we see Palal, the son of Uzai, making repairs in front of the angle and the tower projecting from the upper house of the king by the courtyard of the guard. Then Pedadiah, son of Parash, was next to him. The temple servants living in Ophel made repairs as far as the front of the water gate toward the east and the projecting tower. Next to them, the Tekoites repaired another section in front of the great projecting tower and as far as the wall of Ophel. Actually, now we're moving to the work around the horse gate, the east gate, and the inspection gate, verses 28 to 32. That previous section focused on verses 15 to 27. So now, verses 28 and 29. Above the horse gate, the priests carried out repairs, each in front of his house. Next, Zadok, the son of Emer, carried out repairs in front of his house. And next to him, Shemaiah, the son of Shechaniah, the keeper of the east gate, he made repairs. Verses 30 to 31. Hananiah, the son of Shelemiah, and Hanun, the sixth son of Salaph, repaired another section. After him, Meshullam, the son of Berechiah, carried out repairs in front of his own quarters. After him, Malchiah, one of the goldsmiths, made repairs as far as the house of the temple servants and of the merchants in front of the inspection gate, and as far as the upper room of the corner. Then finally, verse 32. Between the upper room of the corner and the sheep gate, the goldsmiths and the merchants carried out repairs. In his commentary on Ezra, Esther, and Nehemiah, Dr. J. Vernon McGee reflects on how God can use each of us for his glorious purpose. He says, quote, "This chapter brings us to the rebuilding of the walls and gates. It was one of the greatest building projects ever undertaken. What Nehemiah did was a tremendous thing. It was a wonderful way in which God was moving. You see, God had led Ezra and Zerubbabel back to the land to rebuild the temple. Their task was a different one from Nehemiah's. He was a layman, and his work was to rebuild the walls and gates of Jerusalem. God accomplishes his work in different ways with different men. God always moves like that, friend." End quote. I love it how Dr. McGee usually call you just friend. He was just encouraging and wanted to bring the word of God clearly to us, and I love that he called all of us friend. Great job by Dr. McGee. As we draw closer to the end of this chapter, Dr. Evans speaks on how God can restore and rebuild when we yield to his will and move forward with unity of purpose. He says, quote, "The rebuilding work in this passage is a reminder that no matter what fell apart in your life, God can rebuild it in less time than it took you to mess it up. There is hope for a broken down life, a broken down family, a broken down church, and even a broken down community when God gets a good person with a good plan going about his kingdom agenda. Nehemiah unified them around a common purpose, and suddenly things were getting done." End quote. This brings us to the end of our first division from Nehemiah 3 and 4. What's our principle? God's covenant people are called to fulfill their divine assignments. God's covenant people are called to fulfill their divine assignments. Now, there are varieties of gifts, but the same Spirit. And there are varieties of ministries and the same Lord. There are varieties of effects, but the same God who works all things in all persons. But to each one is given the manifestation of the Spirit for the common good. 1 Corinthians 12, 4 through 7. What kingdom work has God assigned to you? And how focused are you on completing that work? Who is walking alongside you as you complete that work? This concludes part 1 of our teaching from Nehemiah 3 and 4. Thank you for being here today. Next time, we will focus on our second division, the work is mocked, chapter 4, verses 1 through 8, and our third division, the work is threatened, verses 9 to 23 of chapter 4. Until then, this is Jose Figueroa for an approved workman, where we are rightly dividing the word of truth. May God richly bless you.